Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life and the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Guys, I know a lot of you probably already heard about this, but my goodness, Bakkt is actually officially, well, they have officially set a launch date, September 23rd. Guys, this is going to be massive in so many ways. Finally, quote unquote, Wall Street is getting into the digital asset space. I heard that people like TD Ameritrade, maybe even Fidelity, I'm not sure, is going to be using Bakkt to kind of start this process of getting into the digital asset space. And it's going to be tons of money. Even a little bit of their money is tons of money, right? That's going to come into this space, and it's going to be an interesting time. It's going to be interesting to see the top 3, top 5 digital assets and what they're going to do. Now, because of this, yeah, the view is not that great, guys. It's foggy out there, out here, absolutely crazy. But think about that, guys. What's going to happen now? It's going to be massive. The digital asset space is going to be massive now. We can look at the overall volume for the digital asset space, whatever it is, 220 billion, maybe 230 billion, maybe. Looking for that to grow. It feels as though the bull run is upon us. The beginning of it is upon us. I always thought I said it was going to be the end of September, first week in October was when it was going to start. Typically, those are the months that it does begin. And did we know, essentially, 45, 60 days later, the altcoins kind of do their thing once Bitcoin has had a bit of a retracement, right? They take the money that they perhaps got the gains from Bitcoin and put it into the alts. And I'm very curious to see how these clients of these retail, of these institutions are going to look to put their money into what. I mean, the fact now that the whole financial market in terms of financial planners or fiduciaries are now going to be able to use this Bakkt exchange. The futures contract is going to be massive. Now, it's a way for, the traditional financial markets to make some money and know how they can make some money from it. So they're going to be recommending things to their clients. It's going to be massive, guys, in a lot of ways. And we're here. We've been in this space for a while now, before them. And that is exciting to know. We hold digital asset space that they want to get their hands on. How exciting is that, guys? I tell you. And everything just looks so perfect. It's a perfect storm for XRP. A perfect storm. I think that this, that swell conference in November feels good, guys. It feels good. It feels like something's going to happen from that. You know how these conferences, because a lot of times at these conferences there's some big announcement. So perhaps there's going to be some type of price hike. Who knows? It's interesting to see. I watched a video the other day, and I think this is the first video that I've watched from this guy, the Bearable Bull, and got a lot of subs, like 14,000 subs. And the video I thought was interesting because he said that the XRP price has to rise for utility in order for Bakkt to take advantage of it or something like that. And I thought, why does the price have to rise in order for Bakkt and the rest of these people that are coming in to take advantage of it? It's an interesting thought. I don't know if it's true or if it's plausible, if that's true in any way. I don't really know. I just feel as though when digital assets in the top 5, maybe 10 get recommended, and the smart guys with money look into this space and begin to look into it. And, you know, they're hearing these recommendations. Who's going to win? It absolutely is going to be XRP. Right? Because these guys, these money guys, they're like, wait a minute, Bitcoin's at this and Ethereum's at that and XRP and what's the company behind it and what's their world, real world use case? I just see the money coming in, pouring in. Utility is there. The thing with Coil, that $1 billion grant, and I guess I used the wrong words the other day, a billion XRP grant to Coil, to Coil from Xspring is ginormous. It is crazy. Utility is there. I mean, there are so many use cases. It's just unbelievable. Between Kava Labs and Coil, Cinnamon Video. I mean, it's getting crazy. $100 million into the gaming space with Forte. It's getting crazy. Ripple donating to donorschoose.org, you know, the largest donation in the history of that organization. These guys are just making all the right moves. Man, I can't wait to see what this bull market is going to be, this bull run is going to be like. You know, the quote-unquote experts have said it's going to be longer than the last one. Of course, you know, we've heard the 3 to 7 times X in the market is what I've heard. I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll find out if that's true or not, but this is what I've heard. It's going to happen, but I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. But I do know this, that we hold the greatest digital asset ever created. I do know that. It feels as though everything is set up. The stars are aligned for XRP. It just feels like it. It really does just feel like it. Can't you feel it? I just feel like it's coming together. And I am going to be so happy for so many of you guys that went through this bear market and remained strong, remained positive, didn't lose hope. You know, I've heard Brad Kimes say one thing. I've heard so many people talk about this price hike, this spike that's going to happen. Like, I don't know. Me personally, I can't see it happen. I do believe in the Shane Ellis theory. I believe that's what's going to happen. But I don't know. I really do believe the Shane Ellis theory is going to happen. SBI, I saw something the other day that SBI hooked up. Oh, they hooked up with WireX. I was just curious about why they did that. So SBI Japan apparently hooked up with WireX for a card. You know, you can spend your crypto in Japan. I'm not sure why it was WireX, why they did it with WireX, but SBI making moves. All I know that, you know, Mr. Katao is, certainly always thinking about growing the XRP ecosystem. That I do know. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting move to find out that from him. The bearable bull, XRP has to rise in order for utility for Bakkt to come into the marketplace. I don't know. Interesting thing. Interesting. The price will have to rise, he was saying. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I don't know how they correlate. I don't know why one has to do with the other. Why does it have to rise for Bakkt to get into it? I don't know. But I do know that the bearable bull is amped. He's pumped up. He is a big time XRP believer. Big time. I can feel his passion and his energy, his conviction. That's the first time I've seen, his feed, his videos would come through in my feed, but I had never watched one until I did yesterday, I think it was. Interesting idea or concept that he's thinking about. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. I've always said, you guys listen to my videos, I've always said that they need the price to be high. That I do know. They need the price to be high. The overall encased, the end game is XRP to help solve the illiquidity, global economic crisis that is illiquidity. Will it help them with their debt? Sure, they'll be able to, once they realize that XRP is in fact a store of value, in addition to utility, they'll be able to do some collateralized debt positions through Kava. Who knows what the CBCDC is going to look like. But once they realize that they can take, deal with, perhaps have credit and perhaps get rid of their debt and clear their balance sheets, or at least balance the sheets, it's over. It's over. Now I'm hearing about this crises now in Italy. So now you got this, the Chinese yuan being devalued. Not only do you still have the Venezuela thing still going on, and I believe there's some turmoil in Turkey as well. Now I'm hearing Italy. I just read something the other day about Italy as well. Interesting thing. Really, really interesting thing. To me, it sounds like they are going to move to the digital asset space, and this reset that everybody's been talking about is upon us, and it will be around the digital asset space. And this neutral point that I believe Judy Shelton talks about, I don't know, feels like a digital asset to me. Feels like XRP to me. It feels like the central banks, the major central banks around the world that serve, these countries are going to have some XRP. It just feels like it. It just really does. I mean, there's a reason why Ripple is working with 50 central, I think it was 50 central banks as well. 50 governments, that might be the same thing. Oh, that was a pretty smart little doe there, running alongside the road and just went for it across the road and made it safely. Good for him or her. Just running along the road parallel to me driving, and then said, you know what, here it is, wait for me to pass, and then went for it. Smart little doe. But anyway, so it just feels like 50 governments, maybe that's the same 50 central banks. Maybe it's a central bank for each government. It's an interesting thing to me that they're working with the governments, and how they're doing it is interesting to me. It's got to be a reason for it. And if they know, here's the thing that I always say, right? If we know that this can solve liquidity, free up Nostro Vostro accounts in central banks, if we know about Kava and the fact that they'll be able to, take that XRP and, have Kava hold it and get a USDX, if they know that, if we know it, they know it. And have that XRP, because it's off the market, rise in value and use this USDX to do whatever it is that they want to do. As a central bank, if we know it, then they know it. And if they didn't know it, Ripple, in my opinion, has let them know the value in it. It just, something's massive happening. It's one of these once in a lifetime. Someone told me, I heard someone say it's once in three lifetime opportunity that we have. And it feels like that, doesn't it? It feels like that. I don't know about you. I know I increased, my position with XRP, and, feel excited about it. I really do. I think, I don't know, this whole Bitcoin XRP thing is always a thing for me, but I think some very smart people who know what they're doing in trading is leveraging the pumps in Bitcoin and then taking the gains and putting it in XRP. I feel like the smart traders are doing that. I really do. I really do feel like they're doing that, but I remember I was messaging with Carl Wagner, really smart guy, And I had messaged and I said, you know, I love any opportunity that I get to take that fiat dollar, my fiat dollars, and put it into XRP. I love it. I get amped up about it. Because I do believe that it is going to be the go-to currency, a go-to digital asset. And there's going to come a point in time, I don't know, with the fiat dollar, it may be a while, but the fiat dollar is going to be, you know, digital assets will be 1 and fiat dollars will be 1A, if you know what I mean. I'm excited about the opportunity to not have, you know, to be at that point where I don't cash out the XRP and I'm just living off the interest like the wealthy do. Excited about that. That opportunity is available to us as well. Really excited about when that gets here. That's gonna be massive. They already got things like Celsius Network and Nexo, you know, where you can borrow against and put your digital assets as collateral. They already have those kind of things, and that's gonna grow and that's gonna get better, and more options are gonna be available to us. That's why I always tell people on this channel, get your cash flow right. You got to get your cash flow right. You know, hopefully you have a couple of streams, at least 2 streams of income coming in, so that your cash flow is good, so that you can invest and not have to, you know, take your electric bill and to invest. Hopefully you got your cash flow right, guys. But yeah, man, I'm excited about that. Bakkt has set a date. Now, I guess they've set some dates before and it didn't happen. But they have a date now, which again says regulatory clarity is upon us. It's here. It is here. Oh man, I'm excited, guys. I hope you guys are excited too. Interesting time. Early adopters. Man, we'll be able to tell all kinds of stories. You know, I would just love to talk to the digital asset investor or the modern investor, right? People have been in this space since like 2012 and 2013. I think the modern investor said something like he had got Bitcoin in 2010 or something like that. Just imagine that. Love to have some conversation with those guys. Absolutely love it. How excited, how blessed are we to be in this space right now, guys? How blessed are we? So I hope you guys have got a way to get out, an exit strategy. Hope you got some price points set. And I would definitely encourage you to set them so that it's not an emotional thing for you. $5, you know, 2%, $5, 5%, $10, 5%, who knows. Hold on to the rest of it to the next goal. Hope you got it set so emotionally you can do it. And not worry about it, not sweat it. Because the thing is, if you're going to take your gains, you want to take your gains conscious free, right? You don't want to be worrying about, man, I should have held on a little bit longer or whatever, all this kind of stuff, right? You want to do it conscious free. What is going on here? That's what you want to do. You want to be able to do that conscious free. So I hope you're able to do that. Hope you set that exit strategy. Hope you got your withdrawal limits set on Coinbase. Hope you got it on Binance. Hope you got all these things set up. You know, I hope if you're in a position where you would probably have to deal with an OTC, I hope you got that set up. I hear a good one is Gemini, not Gemini Exchange, but Gemini. Genesis, I think it is Genesis Trading or Genesis Exchange. I think is what it's called, the OTC. Correct me in the comments if I'm not, if I'm wrong. I think it's Genesis Trading as an OTC, and I don't know if you have to be an accredited investor or not. I don't think you do, but definitely look into that. I know I a while back signed up for it. A while back, but definitely look into that as well, because if you have a certain amount and you're not going to be able to, but only do a certain amount on these exchanges, and you know the big cash outs are going to have to be on OTC. You want to have that set up ahead of time. Plan ahead, guys, for what's coming, because it is coming. I don't know when. This bull, again, it's going to be interesting to see what this bull run looks like. But I'm hearing crazy numbers for BTC. You know, I'm hearing 100,000. One article even had 200,000 for BTC during this bull run. Interesting. And all that means is that the alts will follow along, right? They'll follow along. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Because again, we all know when that BTC starts getting up there to the 20 and the 22 and the 25,000, people are not going to be putting their cash there. You know, fear of missing out, you know, wanting to get the best money for their best bang for the buck is going to be in the alts, without question. And when people go to livecoinwatch.com and they click on XRP and they click on the website and then they go to ripple.com and they learn about the greatest digital asset ever created, you know what I mean? And that's coming. That is definitely coming. We'll see what's going to happen with this whole price, you know, this price hike thing. I don't know. We'll see. I just don't think that the slow and steady thing is going to be it. I think that they have to begin to say, you know, I think they have to say, okay, let's go 10, let's go 20, whatever it is, and see how that works. How is that helping with the balance sheet? How is that helping with the nostro accounts of these central banks? How is that working? I just believe that again, the price has to be high for it to work. For this whole end game to work, it has to be high. That I do know. When will it get there? I don't know. But it's exciting. The anticipation is exciting for me to see where it's going to go. In the end, we all know we have an XRP bag. We're good. And I hope you've determined a lifestyle for yourself, and then you work your way backwards. I hope you've done that. Is it 100,000 a year? Is it $250,000 a year? Is it $500,000 a year? What is it for you? I hope you've had that. And then you say, okay, well, this is where it is. Okay, and then you say, this is how much XRP I have to have, and this is where XRP and the price has to be for me to have that. Right? You reverse engineer, but you got to kind of determine the lifestyle that you're interested in having. You know, you know, for a lot of people, you know, 6 figures, 100,000 is good, right? It's great for a lot of people, right? Have you looked into that, what that's going to look like? Being able to buy back your time, you know? Because if you're at $3 or $4 grand a month, and now you get to $8 or $9 grand a month, 83, 33 for a minimum, you doubled your lifestyle, you know, what are you going to do from there? Are you going to be able to walk away from your job? I can tell you that over 90% will, but I know for a fact that 95, 97% don't make that, don't even make 6 figures. So think about that. Think about being able to buy your time back. You know, have you thought about what you're going to do with your XRP gains? Have you thought about being in a position where you don't have to go to work anymore? You can fire your boss. Have you thought about that? Sleeping in, or rolling over instead of rolling out of bed. Have you thought about that? What that's going to look like? Have you thought about, you know, a lot of people want to, you know, they talk about these Lambos and all that stuff, but then, you know, they got a Lambo and they still checking in, right? Still clocking in to a gig. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a smart move. You know, you have to do what you have to do. But, you know, these Lambos and Ferraris and, yeah, you got it, but you're still checking in, you know, clocking in at a gig. I'm not sure if that's the move. Right? I'm not sure if that's the move. You know, I always think, how high can I amp up my cash flow so that I can take a portion of that and invest it for, you know, for dividends, for return, right? That's what I'm always looking at. So I hope you guys are leveling up your financial IQ, right? I hope you're reading the great books. I hope you're watching the smart people. So I hope you're reading the books like Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins, or you're reading Ray Dalio's Principles. Hope you're reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, and a number of his books. And although a lot of the stuff is a little old school, it's getting the principles and stuff behind it that'll help you increase your financial IQ. So I hope you're doing that. I hope you definitely are leveling up your digital asset IQ, the digital asset space IQ. I hope you're leveling that up so that you know what's available, what's out there. Because again, we're in this new asset class, so I hope you've learned about some other digital assets after you get some gains that you perhaps want to take a percentage. Perhaps, again, I'm not giving you financial advice, but perhaps you want to put into something, the next thing, because there's going to be a next thing. That's without question. There is going to be a next thing. This new asset class is, again, it's a new asset class. So that means it's an opportunity for you to leverage it, to level up your lifestyle for you and your family. I know for me, a certain portion of the XRP gains will go into another asset that I believe is going to, do its thing. And I hope you guys have that as well. So exciting times. You're early in the game. I look at these 1 cents and these 5 cents. Oh, shoot. And I think, holy smoke, right? And I hope you guys maybe even learn a little bit more about Novogratz and how he made his money in Ethereum. And just understand that he was in a position where he had sufficient cash to be able to take advantage of what was going to happen with Ethereum. And that's where we want to be. We want to be in a position where we have a certain amount of cash, right? Cash rich, so that you can put it in to that next Ethereum. If you understand what I'm saying. Some say it's going to be Cardano. We shall see. Some say it's going to be EOS. We shall see. I know they're having some challenges. They got to get that whole governance thing right. They got to figure out the whole deflationary thing, because I don't think they have it. So they got to figure that out. I mean, dude, smart. The project itself is amazing, but if they don't get that governance and that whole deflationary thing straight, could be challenges there. But are you looking into it? Are you doing your own homework? Are you doing your due diligence? Are you becoming a student of the digital asset space? Right? You got to become a student. You got to level up your IQ so you can make the right moves. Certainly my recommendation. Level up your XRP IQ, level up your digital asset space IQ, and level up your financial IQ so you are prepared for the bull run. I get the nice cars and all that stuff. I get it. I do. I get it. I'm a big fan of. I like the Ferrari Portofino, entry level Ferrari. I like it. I like the Porsche Cayman. Pretty much entry level Porsche. I like them. I'm good with those. Bentleys and Rolls. I get it. But I think right now, at least for me, it's about making smarter moves to increase the cash flow, because you're in a position to do that. In my humble opinion, again, this is not financial advice, but 7-figure gains is in this space is easy. It's easy if you're leveled up your financial IQ and you've leveled up your digital asset space IQ. Easy. 7-figure gains, easy. We all saw what happened with Bitcoin, and that was just a matter of just buying and holding. There wasn't a whole lot of digging into it to do, because you couldn't dig into the company. There's no company behind it. You couldn't dig into the team behind the project. There was no, quote unquote, technically, really a team behind it that you could look into and find out more about. But now you can. These other projects, you can do that. And that's a blessing. Just got to have that cash flow right, so you can take a small portion of it and take a chance on it. Look into it and say, take a calculated risk. That's all we're doing. But we want to be, we want to have calculated risk investments, not just, flying by the seat of our pants, right? So in the end, XRP is the one. We all know it. Tell me what you guys think about Bearable Bull in that video where he said the XRP price has to rise utility in order for Bakkt to come into it. And he was saying, what he was saying is before. The price had to rise before Bakkt got into it. This dude was passionate. He spoke with a level of conviction about the price having to rise before Bakkt comes into the game. And they're coming into the game. Their launch date is September 23rd. What do you guys think about that? That the price has to rise before. I should have said that in the beginning of the video. He was saying before Bakkt comes into it. What do you think about that? I'm not certain. It was interesting to hear. Tell me what you guys think about the Bearable Bull. I'd love to hear that. I have not had a chance to listen to just the one video. Interesting idea. All I know is they are coming. They have a date. And it seems like it's falling right in line with the bigger picture. The fact that the Federal Reserve said this, they're going to cut the interest rates 2 or 3 more times. Interesting. In 2019. Interesting time. The fact that by doing this, apparently the price, the strength of the U.S. dollar is going to get better, and the other ones, the other economies, their dollar, their fiat currency is going to get worse. Interesting. and apparently the goal, it seems as though the goal is to say, let's come together as global economic economies, and let's start with this neutral point. And here it is. Here's this thing. Don't know what it's going to be, but it feels like XRP. We shall see. The great, remember, never ever forget that little thing that people don't talk much about. Ripple being a U.S. company and having created this ILP and this digital asset that's XRP. It's a U.S. thing, baby. Not that I don't love the other country, because I do. But there's a leverage there that I think is going to be played. I really do. So guys, listen, I've been rambling on. Never ever forget this, guys. And by the way, thanks for hanging out. Never ever forget that old money doesn't want you to win. Old money don't want us to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same field that they play in, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our time to win. It's our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. That the battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.